Alrighty. See all this? It's all stinging nettle. That green patch out there, stinging nettle, there's more around there. We're sort of out on the other side of my bedroom here. Well, that's my bedroom roof, and that's the bathroom, and that's the wood heater flue thingy. This is sort of the bit we ripped through previously, where we sort of grabbed some of these trees that used to be dead trees in here. Got a bit of wind again, never ends. Yeah, so anyway, this is where the area here where all the jungle was originally, where it was all collapsed trees and crap, and then you had a whole line of small dead trees here. There's all these ones I planted back in 2011, going nowhere fast. But anyway, I suspect the pine trees one day are going to be real big. The she oaks, yeah, well, those ones on the driveway are the same, so that's never going to get any more than about 8 foot. And those other ones, I find later they only have a life of 15 years, the Melaleucas. Some bloody windbreak all that turned out to be, eh? Anyway, there's different stuff did collapse and fall in here, and you got a lot of crap just laying in here, but the boxthorns are grown over the top of where they've been pushed down by some of these branches. There's another branch up there. But anyway, this is the area here that we sort of cleared out originally. And you might remember, you know, there was trees laying over here and everything, and boxthorns and bullshit everywhere in here. But I could still walk through here fairly easily. So we cleared that out last year, but yesterday, if I don't get stabbed to death by a boxthorn, this is the glory of wearing bloody flip-flops around this crap, we got all this out. Now you'll notice a huge stump there. He likes to pull and pull and pull, and well, you know, there's all the chance in the world that you know, you might crack the axle on the tractor. So I got to and cut the bloody thing off, and then we just pulled out the actual bulk of the plant, not try to pull it out of the ground, because I knew it wasn't possible. He tried to pull out some, it broke off and splintered a bit of it, but it really was too much, and I knew it wasn't going to happen. Yeah, so we've got a big trail out here, a big trail of friggin' giant rocks and everything. I sort of suspect that, although it was never really physically there, I wonder if that, you know, you can see it now, down here, across here, down to that tree, across, and that one would have gone across to there, and we've gone through. That's probably some of these big rocks that dragged out here were a part of this originally. You can see it very well here because it goes to that tree there, and then you see I've got a silver thing down there. The line runs down there. So I believe all this originally was part of sort of sheep yards for where this shearing shed was, which was based on this little bit of concrete here that I showed the other day, and just so this is probably the shearing stalls here, and all this was all sheep yards, and there was actually that one there, that post there was stuck in here, it got knocked over, but that was right up against the side of some of these rocks that fell over. So actually these rocks that fell over here, they're probably from this part here, not adjoining here. And I mean, there may well have been a fence along here as well, like not a fence, a gate, and that's your opening to bring your sheep in or whatever. But that was a lot higher. That was about 4 foot tall until yesterday. So that's what those would have been. They're just the same ones knocked off. Yeah, intriguing. There is absolutely everything you could imagine under here, including a bloody lot of glass bottles here, and some of these are all intact and everything. There's a bunch there I got. Oh, there's a lot of other shit. There's sort of a bit of chicken wire and rubbish in here. Real heavy duty. I don't know if you'd even call it chicken wire. Look at the size of it. Hell of a lot of antique-y crap come out. I got this out the other day, leaf spring. That's got a brass bushing in it still. Teapot. A lot of different bits and bobs. Bottles. Tins and crap. And I'll show you the other ones, because some of the other ones over here are sort of really good. And I'll show you the massive hole the cat's playing around near there in. There's a bike seat, another sort of like a watering can. This here, I don't know, might have come off a truck, because we actually found a fuel pump, which I believe was that 1935 Chev Capitol or whatever. There's random fenders and bits of the blooming instrument panel and shit laying everywhere. And that's it there, some sort of a vacuum-based fuel pump. Yeah. Strange stuff. Bunch of old bottles. This is cordial. They used to actually sell cordial in the shops in glass bottles, and that's one of those. That's the whole thing. Fuck this lighting. Too bright or too dark. Made in England. That there is a non-leaf spring based rabbit trap, which they had those occasionally. That would be for your gate. They go through your post, and there's where your gate sort of, you know, hinges to. I don't fuck to know what this is. I hazard a guess it's some sort of a battery thing. I don't know, it's rubber. It has Dunlop on there. I don't know if it's like a battery storage box or an actual one the acid goes into, but this is all rubber. It might be sort of some sort of a box for like radio batteries or something. I am absolutely buggered to know. Just sort of looks the size of a car battery, so it's sort of, yeah. Couldn't really say, but I'm intrigued by it. Whatever it is, and I'll probably find out what it is in due course. Anyway. Big piece of bloody lump of steel in there. Here's some of that Madeira vine. This is some of the root of the Madeira vine. And I don't know exactly what this is. Very fine mesh to it in there. And I guarantee you they turned it into a chicken cage or some blasted thing to block some hole in or some crap. It was usually the case. And there we go. It's down the big hole. So this is originally some sort of a water tank. Bloody sun's shining so bright, it's all just about impossible to see anything. It's fairly good. I think it's made out of about 10-inch wide stones, probably a lot like this one you're seeing here. Yeah. I remember this, I managed to see it before the boxthorns grew out as far as they did. And the bottom of it is all, there's sort of like one layer here and then it sort of drops down, but it's all cracked, like there's friggin' cracks that are bloody 6 inches or more wide. So I've just been throwing all the ash out of the wood heater in here actually for a long time. Of course you don't want red hot coals, because I knew all this dead shit was laying in the top, and that would be, so that's why I usually leave it in the bucket for about 3 days before I go and throw it out to here. But anyway, trust me, it can't be resurrected. Trust me, they really needed to have geofabric and sand for 4 foot or something before they built this, but no, this is just built straight against the clay, and the movement of the clay, it was always going to fail, you know. But this is essentially their water tank, underground water tank. They refer to them as a well, even though it's not an actual well, it's just an underground water tank that, you know, this is where your rainwater ends up and you bucket it out from here again. And these are quite common, but almost nobody seems to recognise them, but there's a lot of places that do have these. And I've seen one that was absolutely massive, like it was like a fucking nuclear missile silo. And that's over, way over there a few miles, but the dickheads had gone and thrown all these, well, not the owner, but the previous owners before him, and that guy's since died and it's been sold again, dropped all this bloody chemical drums down there, and it stinks like shit. You could barely friggin', you know, the fumes in there were phenomenal, but it was massive. I mean, massive to the point that you could never understand how they'd even managed to build it that big. It would have been, oh, what are we talking, 15 metres, you know, it may have been, God blimey, probably about 55 foot, maybe 60 foot deep. It was fucking huge. You had to see to believe it. All with a tiny little cap. There was, you know, just about bloody 3 foot cap on the top. And width-wise, you know, to be bloody 20 foot wide and 60 foot deep or something, it was frickin' absolutely massive. But, and you sort of wonder how they even managed to build it, but it was built in sand. And it was all fairly intact too, which is amazing, but dickheads filled it with rubbish and fucked the whole lot of it up. But anyway, this one, you know, is already cracked, and they've tried to repair the cracks from back in the day. So this is, yeah, she was never making it even when there's still people still alive pre-1979 living here, because